Hey, hello, how are you? Welcome back to Hey Han. Thank you so much if you guys tuned into the first episode of my third season last week, my interview with Morgan Presley. If you haven't seen it, make sure that you go check it out, but do so after you view this episode. I'm so grateful, as always, for all of the support and all of the love that you guys have continued to give and to share with me with this show. It means the absolute most to me, so thank you so much. Now, without further ado, make sure that you guys sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode. Please join me in welcoming one of my very good friends, a TikTok sensation, and a great, great person. This is Nick Ray. All right, welcome back to another episode of Hey Han, you guys. I'm your host, Hannah Fletcher, and joining me today we have Nick Ray. Nick, thank you so much for coming on. It is so nice to see you again. Thank you.
Yeah, nice seeing you.
So Nick and I, how did we meet? We met over Instagram.
Yes. And I think I know exactly why, because I always check people with blue check marks, and now that everyone can buy it, I bought mine, and I'm assuming you bought yours too, right? Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, look, who's this? I'm like, oh, she actually does a lot of cool podcasts and stuff, so I followed you on there, and then you followed me back.
Yeah. Well, I love that we had the opportunity to connect, because one of the things is the fact that and when we first talked, I told you all of this, but I watched your content for quite some time. I remember watching you back in COVID. I've met a few people that I've watched their content from back in the COVID days, and I think it's really neat to be able to see how it's kind of transpired and evolved. But I've always really enjoyed your content, and I want to kind of kick off this conversation. I don't like to say the word interview. I feel like that's so formal. But talk to me about, how did you come into the content creation space? Did you see yourself achieving the caliber of notoriety that you're at currently? Talk to me about your journey. What's that like for you? What's it been like?
All right, let me try and set the scene for you. This is 2018. I am a sophomore in college, and my best friend at the time comes up to me and says, "Hey, you like making videos, right, Nick?" I'm like, "Yeah, I made a couple back in high school. So part of the ASB programs, making promo vids for dances and stuff. So I've made videos at this point." And he's like, "Well, make TikToks." It used to be Musical.ly. It just transitioned from Musical.ly to TikTok back in November 2018. That's exactly when I started making videos. And my friend got some clout. Back then, a couple 10,000 followers was clout. And he says, "I got this clout from this girl. I'll give you some clout. Kind of tell people to go follow your account." And I just kept making videos, and eventually I started getting a bigger following. 3-4 years down the road, I mean, we're in 2023, 5 years almost, I've accumulated about 3.6 million followers, just a little over that. And no, I did not. I was so shocked after I reached 1 million. I was like, man, how far am I going to be able to take this? And I think I always set goals for myself to make better content, to push to see how far I can go, and here we are. And I'm super happy, and I'm super thankful for all my followers that have come with me from 2018 to now. Come on a long journey since then, and it's not stopping. I'm not going to stop right now. I'm going to keep going.
That's amazing.
I love making videos.
I love to hear that. And what I know about you is I can tell how much you love making videos. When you're making videos, I know that most of your content is predominantly surrounding the cosplay world, which I think is really great. You have fantastic costumes too, by the way. You have very nice quality costumes. I love seeing your videos because I never know what you're going to pop up in next, and I think it's really endearing. And I don't know, I just really find them to be fun, and I love that you always take your own twist, and with the lip syncing and the trends and everything like that, but from the cosplay point of view. I've seen a lot of cosplayers pop up on my For You page, but I feel like you have a very unique way of doing it. What does your process look like when it comes to cosplaying, or even just making any type of video? What does that process look like for you? Do you think about it a lot before you shoot it? Do you make a list? Is it impromptu? Talk to me about your process and what that looks like.
So normally when I'm about to make a cosplay video, I do go on the For You page, try and find inspiration through other people. Not so much exactly what they're doing, but the sounds that they're using. Because typically there are trending audios on TikTok that I find to be the most helpful with my content, anything that I do. And with that, I try and put my own twist on it, which is the cosplay twist. It doesn't matter what people are doing in that video. I'm normally just listening to the music, seeing if it's long enough to do transition videos, because I like to do multiple cosplays in the same video at once, just to kind of throw people off. Like, what the is this person doing here versus this person? It doesn't make sense. But I think that's the whole point.
The hot dog.
Yes,
You
yes,
get me every
okay.
time with that one. Ugh.
Oh my gosh. I don't think anyone ever expects it to go online and see not just cosplayers, but it's just a grown man in a hot dog suit. And I had a name for this character. It's Glizzy Man. And
Oh
really,
my God.
it's the most comfortable, the easiest costume for me to get into. It's just a slip on, slip off. Like, sometimes my roommate Case will show up, open the door, and I'll be in a full on hot dog costume. I'll just be like, he'll stare back at me. I'm just like, he'll be,
He's just
all
like,
right, I'll
hey,
see you later.
he's like, did you pay the electric bill? And you're just like, yeah. And he's like,
It's
okay.
it's funny because this is true. This is totally true. He's gay and he really likes hot dogs. That's not an innuendo in any way. He has a bunch of hot dogs in the fridge, and every time I dress up like a hot dog man, I'm like, nothing's gonna happen, man. Take it off immediately. You can have it. You can keep it.
I'm sure he loves that.
Nah,
Aw.
we love doing jokes. It's my first roommate, and he's a really nice guy, so we like joking back and forth.
I noticed that he also has a TikTok. I was looking at his type of content too. How did the two of you meet, if you don't mind me asking, and how did you
Well,
guys become roommates?
We're both actors. We've done a lot of background work for Book Talent, Face to Face, casting networks, and our friends. We have mutual friends who also do background work with us, and we've just passed by a couple of times. And at one point, he was looking for a roommate. I was looking to get out of my apartment right now, looking for a cheaper one, and he was available at the time. We met up a couple times, got to know each other a bit better, and then we finally just decided, hey, let's move in together. And we've been living together since February, and we haven't killed each other yet, so I think that's a good sign. Yeah, woo!
Yeah, studio audience, right?
Mhm. He actually does join me in some of my skits too. We do some cosplay here and there. I remember we did this. There was a trending audio, and he tried on my Prince outfit, and everyone loved it. Like a couple 100,000 likes and a million views. I'm like, dude, we got to make more content together, because obviously people are loving like the whole roommate thing. So, you know, I think one idea sparks another, and we just keep making content together, and it's great. Everyone loves it.
That's really great. Have you ever found yourself in, and I'm sure you have, especially if you've been doing this for 5 years, have you ever found yourself in like a dry spell where you're just uninspired and no matter what's going on, you're not able to make any type of content, but obviously you want to keep up with it and you don't want to let your fan base down, especially, again, you're hitting a different type of a threshold than just your stereotypical person that has a couple thousand followers, couple hundred, what have you.
Mhm.
What does that look like for you if and when you hit a dry spell and you're a little bit uninspired? How do you find yourself kind of coming out of that?
Well, I have like two mindsets when it comes to being in a dry spot. There's, quality over quantity. It's okay to take a break. It's okay not to give out content every day. But at the same time, I'm thinking, momentum. You should just be thinking ahead if you're not going to post something today. What are you going to post tomorrow? And in my mindset, in that, if I'm in that place, I'm like, I don't really want to make content right now. I'm not going to make content right now. I'm not even going to think about it. I'm just going to relax, and maybe I'll pass by something that inspires me. I don't take it to heart. I'm not like, oh my God, I got to post right now. I don't feel like angsty at all. I just think that TikTok's something to be fun. I shouldn't be worried about making content all the time. Just relax and make the content you want to make when you're ready to make it. I think that's hard for some people to understand. Like, I know you want to keep going, you want to keep growing your following and go live stream, but you also got to think of your own mental health too. Like, how long can you keep this up until you wear yourself out? And thankfully, I'd say I say that I'm not wearing myself out at all. I'm actually at a good pace, and just, yeah, I feel good. I feel good about the content that I'm giving out right now. I'm not worried about if I'm going too fast or too slow.
That's really, really good. That's an admirable and commendable place to be, because I've heard so many different types of stories that come from content creators that range from, it seems like a lot of people teeter into that burning out territory. And it's hard, especially because your passion and your hobby ends up turning into your career. So then it's almost like one could assume, oh, there's this element of fun that's no longer there because now it's a job. But it seems like with you, you have a really good ability to be able to balance that. And I can tell too, like, your quality of your work has always been phenomenal in my eyes, genuinely. I really think that you have good content. I think that you have yourself completely branded and niched. I think you know yourself so well, and it comes through. And also you can tell, and I've looked at your videos and looked through the comments. I've left comments myself. Like, you have such a great connection with your audience. Like, they really, really love you. I think that is so fantastic. Does it ever talk to me? I know you've told me this, but I want for you to tell the audience. Talk to me if there's ever been like a fan encounter that sticks out to you, whether it's wild, whether it's sweet, whatever you'd like to share. And talk to me just about like the what's the reality of actually, like, if you go into Ralph's and go and get coffee creamer, the fact that like the cashier could know you. What is that like?
It was actually a really cool story, and it's about someone in my hometown. I go home and visit my family, which is actually what I'm going to be doing tomorrow, traveling. We went to this Tulare golf course, which my great-grandfather actually built. It's in my hometown. I go up to the counter where they have a waiter seat us, and the girl goes, "Hey, I think I actually know you." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Oh, well, you dressed up as Spider-Man, I think, on social media, right? On TikTok?" I'm like, "Yeah, I actually do." It's like, "Oh, that's really cool. I follow you. My brother follows you. We actually really love you." And it was so surreal to me to think that, oh, these are people in my hometown who know me, who actually follow me on social media, and they didn't even know that. And that's making them excited. And while I was working at Disneyland for, part-time, I was working in food and beverage, and my manager comes up to me while I'm working in the back. They're like, "Hey, there's a couple people here who want to see you." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" It's like, "Oh, I think they've followed you on social media." And I'm like, "Oh, great, now my entire work's gonna know, like, I have a huge following too." And I go outside, I stop what I'm doing, I take off my gloves, I go outside, and they're like, "Hey, we're such big fans of you on TikTok. Can we get a photo with you real quick?" I'm like, "You want me in my work uniform?" Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna question it at all. And they took a couple photos of us. They're like, "Thank you, we really love your content. It means the world to us. You always light up our day." I'm like, "Thank you. I hope you have a magical day at Disneyland and go on all the rides." It's just I'm still on the job here, so I'm trying to not just being nice, but I'm encouraging them to go and enjoy the park. So moments like that where people just stop me, ask for photos, and then go on their way, I'm like, wow, that's someone took time out of their day to come take a photo with me. It's really cool.
That's so great.
No, it feels awesome.
I love your perspective on it. I love your gratitude because, I've seen and I've heard of and I've seen videos of people that seem more on the edge of bothered when they have somebody come up to them and want to take a photo, which in one breath one can understand. I mean, somebody who's been around and been in the public eye for a very long period of time, if they're just trying to go out to the store and get something, or if they're just trying to run around and go shopping with their family, I guess I get it. But at the same time too, I'm like, I feel like it's also what you do. It's the reason that you are who you are with the career that you have. It's kind of like working. It's almost like you need to clock in for 5 minutes and take that photo and give that person your time. And I think that's really great. I can tell that you just absolutely love it. It just
yeah. I think something about being an actor. I actually heard this the other day about people wondering why they've got, sorry, let me start over. They've gotten asked the question, when you can barely speak English, but you've been doing it your whole life? That's me right now. When actors get the question, why do you act? Why do you want to act? And someone said, because I want to affect an audience. And I'm like, that's totally me. Because I saw a bunch of other actors on sets, on screen. And I was like, wow, this is really like bringing out this type of emotion in me. I'm like, I want to do that for other people. And I feel like you only get one chance to affect people in life. So why not just go past the stage and affect other people in your life in a positive way? So every time someone asks me for something that I could easily give that would make them happy, I'm like, oh, I'm going to do that. So if anyone wants a photo, I'll take a photo with them. I'll tell them have a good day. I think that's borderline people pleaser, but I feel like that's just being a really nice person too. Like, what am I going to say? Like, no, I don't want to take a photo with you. Have a magical day.
Yeah, right.
But go and enjoy the rest of the park.
Could you imagine?
No.
Be like, no, I'd rather not. Like,
I'm just walking up to him and I'm like, hey, look, I'm not going to take a photo with you. That's so like rude.
yeah, yeah, it is. I love that. Well, I know that you're an actor. Obviously, we've nerded out over this for hours. Talk to me. What is the acting process like when it comes to being able to create content? Do you find that you're utilizing a lot of your training because you also have your degree in acting? So feel free to kind of lead the audience into a little bit of your backstory with acting, how that came to be, and then
Okay.
if there's any interconnection between acting and content creation, or if you kind of view those as two separate lanes in and of themselves. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, there's different types of TikTok acting, and there's acting on stage versus acting on screen. There's so many different types of acting, many different like scenarios you're in. I feel like on TikTok, some people act very animated with their reactions just to show like an obvious emotion, versus people who act in real life or on screen or on stage. It's a whole process. But like I said, that depends on like what trend you're doing. I've been a part of so many trends on TikTok where people like to see transitions through emotions or transitions through characters, and I'm like, it's really different. I feel like being in person on stage, it's a captivating moment. You're not going to see that again versus on screen. On like right now, we're recording all of this. This is we're going to do this in one take, and we're not going to do it again. I feel like if you're on stage, it's more personal. I don't know. I feel like you're putting yourself on display when you're on TikTok, and I don't know exactly where I'm going with this, but.
No, it makes sense though. Keep
Does
going.
it? Okay. I feel like
Yeah,
the pressure.
I get it. I get
Okay,
it.
thank you.
I'm with you.
I think the pressure's off when you're posting on TikTok, because you see yourself. You're like, you can take as many takes as you like, versus going on stage or going in front of a camera on set for something else. That's someone else's agenda. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess I feel comfortable filming TikToks. But I feel like it's more of a challenge to be on someone else's time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're being asked to produce this on set versus, doing this for fun whenever you feel like it.
Yeah, it's a very different type of thing. I mean, like you said, you have countless takes to be able to do on TikTok. You also, I mean, in theory, you're alone, right? And you are completely by yourself, and you don't necessarily, unless you're collaborating with somebody else.
Exactly.
Even then, what? One other person, maybe two others in the room. Say someone's holding the camera. So it's a completely different energy that you have to have too. I mean, you can definitely like if you and I were in person, it would be a different energy than how we are right now.
Yeah.
You know. Or like if we were in person, like having a meal together, it'd be a different energy. So I think that like what you're saying makes complete sense. I couldn't agree with you more. And I think that's a really great answer that you gave, for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, you wanted me to touch up on my acting, I guess, as a whole when I started.
Yeah, talk us through your journey, and also I think it's so wonderful. That's our common bonding point. We both have degrees in acting, so tell me about what it is that ultimately made you make that decision to take that risk and get that degree and be a professional.
Yeah, okay, so when do you think I started actually acting? Because some people start when they're in middle school, when they're kids.
Yeah, I don't know this about you. I feel like you started acting. Okay, here. Do you want to know my prediction? I think I would say like maybe like 5-7 years old. Why did I skip 6? I don't know. But I would say 5 or 7.
But the 6-year-olds can't act. It's bad.
Not what we're saying. I would say like maybe in that range, but then but I feel like you're gonna hit me with like 17. So I don't know.
I didn't start till. Let me tell you, I didn't start till after high school was over. So I was 17, borderline 18, going into it right after high school was done. Like first year of college,
Wow.
I was like, I wasn't quite sure exactly what I wanted to do. I mean, what do you tell yourself at 17? Like, I mean, my family told me like, oh, you don't have to have it all figured out right now. I've been so involved in sports and leadership programs, like grades weren't really a priority to me in high school because I didn't know what I wanted to do. But it's not like I didn't pass any of my classes, I did, but I was so invested in the community, not just like in my high school, but outside of it too. Like I was a part of all those programs where I'd help feed the need and I had no time to think about acting. I just loved going to movies. I liked starting new TV shows and series with my family and my brothers. And it was like, college is finally here. What am I going to do? Well, I'm not going to do nothing. I got to find something to do. So I told them, like, let me try the acting route. Let me see how I feel about it. And then 2 years go by, and I'm like, wow, I love it. I've been in a couple musicals. I've been dancing. I've been acting, of course. I've been taking a couple classes with this really cool mentor. I've gone to other festivals, and it's great. And then sophomore year, TikTok hit, and I just kept doing what everyone else was doing, all the trends at the time, and I was also doing it at my school. I was started cosplaying. From there, it just took off. I applied my acting to TikTok, and here we are.
So I love that, and I want to ask you. Speaking of trends, you know where I'm going with this.
Here we go.
Oh, come on, you love it. Talk to me about this heartbreak anniversary trend. Nobody knew that you were going to take this trend and make it your own, but you seem to do it. You were on my For You page constantly.
Oh, God.
Nick, talk to me about all of this and this journey. And I mean, you were already thriving, but this just came in and did something different for your account. You spiked. Talk to me about this.
Well, I would say that was the peak of my account, and then once that trend was over, it simmered down a bit. But I was doing the same thing everyone else was doing, but I was just trying to make the most ridiculous faces I could to my family. I'm like, this dance is already ridiculous, but I like the idea that we're all in a circle and that we're all taking turns to see who's going to break first. And I like to make it a competition. And I tell them right before I film it, I'm like, hey, who do you think is going to break? Don't say it, just think it. And my brother, who's always in the back, I love my brother, and I think his face really sold. I think that's why a lot of people really like the video. Not just because of my goofy dance, not the way that I move so smooth.
Yes.
It's because my brother in the back is trying so hard not to laugh because for some reason he thinks I am ungodly funny at that dance. And I've done it so many times. So let me tell you, and it's sometimes with different people, but more than most, he is one of the 3 people that's always in my video, because I don't know, our chemistry. I love my other brother, but when Calvin is making the faces he makes, everyone can't help but laugh either. And I hit I think 4.1 million views on the best version of Heartbreak Anniversary I did. And it's at 20 million views. And after that, I just kept making as many of those as I could, out in public, with other friends, with family, during holidays, at weddings. Oh my God, I've done that. No, I did it at 2 weddings. And my sister's getting married in May.
I didn't see those ones. I'm going to go back and look.
Go to my TikTok account and look at. It's under the Heartbreak Anniversary category, so go check it out.
I love that you have a whole category. You do too. Okay.
Yes. So here's the thing. I went to I think it was 3 weddings. Well, I didn't do it on the 3rd one, but I did at the first 2 weddings. I had 3 weddings to go to in May, and I was doing that trend for a while, and people wanted more. I'm like, should I do it at my cousin's wedding? I did it at my cousin's wedding, and I asked her to be in it. both the bride and groom. I did it twice at 2 weddings, so I got the bride and groom and my other brother.
That is great.
I love it. I like doing it. I think it's funny, and if people find joy out of me dancing around and making faces, I'm like, shoot, I'm gonna dance as many times as you need me to. It's fun.
It's just, you're so entertaining to watch. I cannot articulate it beyond that. If you guys haven't seen Nick's video for this song in particular on this trend, go to his TikTok, go to his categories, and you just have to watch, and you'll know what I mean. You are just so... I think it's because you're so tall. How tall are you?
I'm 6 foot.
Okay. I think it's... Well, and I'm 5 foot too, so that makes sense. I think it's because you're tall, and you're just funny. You're so animated. I love watching it. I love those videos so much. Now, tell us, and I know the answer, but I want you to tell them, have you had any contact with the singer of the song at all?
No.
Or no?
I've not had... I just don't expect him to reach out at all. I forget, his name escapes me, but I forget the artist.
I think it's Giveon, isn't it?
Giveon. It is Giveon, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
But no, when that was trending, I never got anything from him. But I did get a lot of like famous people, TikTok famous people commenting and like tagging other people in. And I was like, man, this is freaking awesome. I gotta keep doing this because it's just so much fun. But no, Giveon has not reached out to me.
Okay. Next time if you do it again, call me. I want to be there. I want to see if I break. I'm sure I will. It'll be entertaining.
I'll tell you this.
Right.
The wedding that I went to, my cousin's wedding, she is 5 foot tall.
Oh.
And so you might laugh at that because she's even smaller than you.
Yeah.
And I had to make a face at her. You know, I had to kneel down. No, not just. No. Imagine this. POV from the side. I went like this. I went.
Oh my gosh.
It's just that.
I would die.
No, she was like, why am I doing this? This is my wedding day. Of all the things that I could be doing, Nick, I'm doing this video. I'm like, just let me borrow 60 seconds of your time and you can go back to your wedding, okay?
You can go back to your cake.
Everyone else got photos with you. They got, it was your day. Just let me have this, okay? It's not all about you. No, I didn't say that, but like.
I didn't get you a wedding present, but the views are that. You know.
I'm featuring your wedding on TikTok. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be televised with like millions of views. Okay. Well, I'm putting your wedding on the map. I didn't tell her that. No, she would not. She wouldn't have liked that at all.
No, he didn't. I wasn't there, but I'm sure he did.
That's what I would have said. You know, if I.
Right. I have one final question for you before we wrap up. If you were able to go back in time and if you were able to talk to yourself, I don't know, at any age or maybe like right before you were about to hit this wild ride of being on TikTok and getting 3.6 million followers, what is something that you'd go back and say to yourself? And it could be content related, it could be life related, whatever, but what is like one piece of advice that you would give your younger self, and at what point in life would you give that advice to yourself? What age? And what would it be?
Oh, I gotta think about it. At what point in my life should I go back? Would I have gone back? I don't know. Probably at the start of college. Mm-hmm. Not just because at the time I didn't know what to do. I was 18, didn't really have a lot of friends going to the same college as me, which kind of bummed me out. But I think I would have put my priorities in check at the time. Like, I had a bunch of extra cash from like financial aid that I got that I obviously would have saved. That would have gone towards, more acting jobs or lessons. I feel like I had a lot more opportunities then, but I didn't realize that this would be the outcome of my life. Like, a year later, I'm super, big on TikTok, and I'm like, wow, I have a lot more opportunities than I. Yeah. I was like, maybe I don't know, maybe everything happened for a reason, and it didn't turn out bad at all. Like, I'm happy with the way everything turned out. I don't know if I go back and necessarily change a lot of things, but yeah, just give myself advice that would help me, go a little faster, speed things up a bit. But
Yeah.
no. I think everything happened for a reason. I'm still thriving. I'm still climbing, doing the best that I can, and yeah, we gotta live with the choices we make.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I want you to take the opportunity now, if you have anything upcoming that you'd like to plug, if you want to go ahead and let our audience know where they can find you and keep up to date with you. Plug any social media. You have the floor.
Well, as you know, my username is Nick at Night. I keep it simple on everything: TikTok, Instagram, Twitch as well. Those are my main three accounts that you can get a hold of me. I also have I think an email on my Instagram where you can message me for any opportunities that you would like to give. I'm always available and accepting. But besides that, I'm just super happy to be here, and thank you so much, Hannah, for letting me be in your
Thank you
episodes.
so
Yeah,
much.
it's been fun.
Yeah. Oh, you're the best. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you. I appreciate your time. I'm so excited. I really need you to come back. I love your energy too much. And I'm hoping, Nick and I are hoping to be able to even co-host and co-interview later on down the road on some opportunities. So stay tuned with whatever's to come from the two of us as well. So, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in to this episode of Hey Han. Make sure that you share this with your friends and family. Head over to MUSE TV on YouTube so you're able to go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Make sure that if you're viewing this on Roku or if you're listening to this on one of our auditory platforms, make sure that you guys leave a review. It means so much if you show that love in any way, shape, or form. I appreciate you through and through. Thank you to Nick for joining me on this episode of Hey Han. You are such a remarkable person. This was such a fun conversation, and I just enjoyed spending every single minute with you, and I can't wait to collaborate on future projects, so everyone should stay tuned for that as well. My challenge, my message to my viewers is the following. Make sure that you guys are doing something every single week that brings you joy. Make sure that you are bringing positivity into your life in some way, shape, or form. I've recently been lighting a lot of Palo Santo sticks in my apartment, and I never was the type of person to do that before, and now I can easily and safely say that I feel like I've been bringing the good vibes in my direction simply by doing something like that. Taking a moment, making my thoughts intentional, and doing something that is cleansing for both me and my space. So take some time for yourself this week and make sure that you are bringing positivity towards yourself in whatever way, shape, or form that takes. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I'm Hannah Fletcher, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.